What does a day off look like when you live on a small budget in Nha Trang? Do local people shop in the same places as the people living in expensive apartments? And how much money do you really need to enjoy a day? Hi, I'm Dan. I'm 36 years old. I am going to visit a modern supermarket, look at homes I cannot afford, eat a very simple meal, and ride my old electric bike toward the sea. Let me show you how I spend my day off. On the way to the supermarket, I pass these apartment buildings. The apartments with the orange square panels are generally more expensive than the buildings on the left. From the road, the difference may not look very large. They are all tall buildings with many windows and balconies, but in price, even the less expensive row is still far beyond my reach. My room is much smaller than these apartments, but at least I never need much time to clean it. Nha Trang is extremely hot at this time of year. For many people, the supermarket is also a place to enjoy free air conditioning and avoid a higher electricity bill. Do people do this where you live? Phuc Long is a well-known cafe chain in Vietnam. I have never had coffee here. One drink can cost as much as 2 of my regular meals. There is also a small area where children can play, paint statues, and draw. For many families, the supermarket is more than a place to shop. It is also an affordable place to spend time together. I am not very good at claw machines, but they always attract me. Maybe it is the small chance of winning something that makes them hard to ignore. Phahasa is one of the most familiar bookstores in Vietnam. These days, many people choose ebooks because they are cheaper and easier to carry, but I still enjoy walking through a real bookstore. These silicone souvenirs cost about 1 baht and 79 zeroch each. They represent different provinces and famous foods from across Vietnam. They are small, but each one tells a little story about the country. This is a donation box. The weather is very hot. So many people are choosing convenient handheld fans like these, which cost between $3 and $6. I'll try turning this fan on, even though I've never used one before. Ah, here it is. These ergonomic school bags are quite expensive, almost 1 week of my wages. But I think protecting a child's back is worth it. One of my younger relatives will start elementary school this September, so I plan to work extra hours and buy one as a gift. These shoes are 70% off, but the discounted price is still close to 1 week of my income. They look nice, but they are not part of my budget today. This bag of Kit Kat costs about $3.12. Instant coffee is a cheap and very refreshing choice for morning drinkers. Durian is one of the most famous fruits in Vietnam. It costs about $2.24 per kilogram, or around $1.02 per pound. Some people love its creamy taste, while others cannot get past the smell. Would you try it? I have heard that apples are much cheaper in the US and some other countries. These imported apples cost about $7.60 zeros per kilogram, or $3.45 per pound. That is too expensive for me. If they cost about 1/6 of this price, I could probably afford to buy them regularly. Kiwi is considered a premium fruit here. For many workers, it is too expensive to buy often. Lychee is common in Vietnam during summer. This is bánh pia, a famous pastry from southern Vietnam. Its filling combines mung bean, durian, and salted egg yolk. The combination may sound unusual, but would you try it? I really enjoy leafy greens. I think I may be one of those people who genuinely prefers vegetables. Salmon costs about $22.76 per kilogram or $10.32 per pound. That is almost 3 days of wages for me. For the same money, I could prepare several simple meals at home. There are many types of cheese I've never tried. Some are expensive, and I don't know what to eat them with. Someday I'll try to find out and try them. This is a plain steamed bun, just dough. It's slightly sweet and needs to be steamed before eating. These are both instant noodles. One costs about $47, while the other is only 16 cents, almost 9 times cheaper. I rarely eat instant noodles. Since I have mild anemia, I try not to let a quick meal replace more nutritious food. I really like gray shirts, as you can probably tell, but I only buy shirts under $3. This one costs about $6.80, so today I will just admire it for free. This is my bag. It's still in pretty good condition. I bought it for $2. I prefer plain Vietnamese baguettes to sweet bread. It is already 11 a.m., so these 2 simple loaves will be my lunch. They cost about 19 cents each, or 38 cents in total. Does your mouth start watering whenever you see tamarind? This is the CGV cinema inside the supermarket. I have never watched a movie here. A ticket, popcorn, and a drink would cost about $6.84. Almost 90% of what I earn in one day. I also feel a little awkward sitting alone in a cinema, so I usually watch YouTube at home instead. The screen is smaller, but at least it is free. This hot pot buffet costs about $10 per person. My younger sister has been working far from home for a long time. When she comes back, I hope I can bring her and my mother here. I have eaten alone for so long that sharing one meal with them would feel more valuable than the food itself. My base salary is about $228 per month. Each month, one of the first things I do is send $70 to my mother, who lives far away in the countryside. My rent is only about $22.80 per month. The remaining money must cover food, electricity, and all my other daily expenses. Now I'm buying a Mix-U ice cream cone for only about 38 cents. I still wonder how they make money at this price. Maybe the cone brings people in, while the drinks bring in the profit.
Cảm ơn.
I ate the taro ice cream, and honestly, it was quite delicious, but the ice cream melted faster than gelato, so I had to eat it quickly. Goodbye to the free air conditioning. It is noon now, and the hottest part of the day is waiting outside. I am going home to rest before taking you to the beach this afternoon. This is one of the wealthier neighborhoods I pass whenever I return to my rented home. The streets are cleaner, quieter, and carefully maintained. It is only a few minutes away from where I live, but financially, it feels much farther. How can two lives exist so close to each other, yet feel like they belong to completely different worlds. This repairman is very skilled and always has many customers. For people with small budgets like mine, his work saves us from having to buy new appliances. Sometimes, repairing an old item is not just cheaper, it gives it another life. People with small budgets like mine usually buy fruit at local markets, where it can cost about half as much. It also helps support the small vendors who depend on the market to make a living. It is 4 p.m. now. As I promised this morning, I am taking my old electric bike, which is worth about $100. I do not own a motorbike. Charging it costs me only about $3.80 per month. It is difficult to travel any more cheaply than this. Now, let me show you the roads I travel and take you toward the sea. A family in this neighborhood is mourning someone who recently passed away. It is a sad reminder that an ordinary day can suddenly become very different. May God receive them with love and protect them in heaven. Sugarcane juice costs about 80 cents per liter. It is freshly pressed, naturally sweet, and often served with ice and a little lime. It gives quick energy, but it also contains a lot of sugar. Would you try it on a hot day in Vietnam? This is Tran Phu Street, running along Nha Trang Beach. The beach faces Nha Trang Bay, which became the 29th member of the Club of the Most Beautiful Bays in the World in 2003. Tourists travel a long way to see it, but for local people like me, this beautiful view is still free. Nha Trang Beach is one of the most famous parts of the city, but for local people, it is also a place to breathe after a long day. No ticket, no reservation, and no need to buy anything. Sometimes the most valuable part of living in a tourist city is the one thing everyone can still enjoy for free. These are childhood snacks for many children in Nha Trang, often eaten before going to the beach. The banana is slowly cooked with sugar until it becomes firm, fragrant, and sweet. This is Bang Bon Bon, a chewy local snack. Both cost about 38 cents per serving. I chose the Bang Bon Bon because I do not enjoy food that is too sweet. This is Bang Bon Bon, a traditional chewy snack from Nha Trang. It is made from tapioca starch, shaped into small balls, boiled and covered with grated coconut. People usually eat it with a sweet and salty peanut mixture. The texture is soft, chewy, and slightly sticky. It is a very simple snack, but for many local people, it brings back memories of childhood. Along this beach, everyone comes for a different reason. Tourists take photos and enjoy their vacation. Local people swim, exercise, sell small snacks, or simply sit quietly after work. The hotels across the road may be expensive, but nobody has to pay to watch the waves. For a few moments, people with very different lives can share the same view. Maybe that is what makes this place feel special. From the beach, everyone seems to be living the same peaceful life. But when the sun goes down, people return to very different homes. Some go back to luxury hotels, while others return to small rented rooms like mine. The sea cannot change our lives, but for a little while, it gives everyone the same place to breathe. I usually come here alone. Sometimes I see families and groups of friends enjoying the evening together, and I wonder what it would feel like to share this view with someone. But being alone does not always mean being unhappy. The sea does not solve my problems, but it gives me enough peace to face them again tomorrow. When it's hot, people spread out mats here to lie down, relax, eat, and play. You can bring your own mats or rent them, and they're not exactly cheap. For many older people, the beach is more than a beautiful view. It is a free place to walk, breathe fresh air, meet familiar faces, and keep their bodies moving. Some of them have probably watched this coastline change for decades while their own lives changed with it. They may not need expensive entertainment anymore. Sometimes having a safe place to sit, hear the waves, and feel less alone is already a priceless gift. Maybe the sea cannot make people younger, but it can make an ordinary evening feel lighter. On the way home, I have to stop at this railway crossing. For a few minutes, everyone waits together. Tourists, workers, expensive cars, and old bikes like mine. The train passes quickly, but it reminds me that no matter how different our lives are, sometimes we all have to stop and wait. This railway is part of Vietnam's historic North-South line. The first railways in Vietnam were built during the French colonial period, beginning in 1881. The section connecting Saigon and Nha Trang was completed in 1913, and the entire line from Hanoi to Saigon was finally connected in 1936. The trains we see today are no longer the original French trains, but they still travel along a route that has carried generations of Vietnamese people for more than a century. Every time the barrier closes, modern life pauses for a piece of history to pass through. Tonight's dinner is 3 eggs bean sprouts that I grew myself from mung beans and stir-fried, and natto, a fermented soybean dish from Japan. Natto has a strong smell and a sticky texture, so not everyone likes it. For someone with a small budget like mine, this meal follows a simple rule: affordable, nutritious, and filling. I eat at least 5 eggs a day because they are one of the cheapest sources of protein I can afford. It is not a luxurious diet, but it helps me stay full without spending too much. It is 8 p.m. now, and Nha Trang feels completely different after dark. The heat has faded, the streets are brighter, and more people are coming outside. Tonight, I will take my old electric bike and show you how the city looks at night. It costs me less than $4 a month to charge. So even a simple night ride is something I can afford. Trash here is first collected by hand into small carts. Later, a larger truck comes to carry everything away. These bamboo trays belong to fruit sellers. At night, they use them to cover the fruit, not only from dust and insects, but also from curious eyes. This is Ting Square, one of several small public squares along Tran Phu Street. It is quiet tonight, but tomorrow, when the weekend begins, it will be filled with people watching street music performances. Sometimes a place does not need to change, only the people and sounds around it do. Always ask the price before buying anything here. It is a simple rule, but it can save you from an uncomfortable surprise. This is one of the busiest parks along the beach. It has free exercise equipment and sits close to the larger central square, so people gather here from early morning until late at night. For many local residents, this public space is their gym, meeting place, and evening entertainment, all in one. This place may look familiar because I brought you here earlier this afternoon. I often return here alone, but when my father was still alive, he used to bring me here as a child. At night, it becomes quiet, almost like my own life. Some places stay important, not because they change, but because the memories inside them never do. Before going home, I stopped to buy a grilled seasoned egg. The egg is removed from the shell, mixed with spices, poured back inside, and grilled before being served with fresh herbs. It is a simple and affordable way for me to add more protein. Sometimes the cheapest food is also the most creative. Three eggs cost about 68 cents. I usually walk here to buy them, but since I was already riding home tonight, I stopped along the way. For me, convenience is even better when it does not cost anything extra. I just discovered that one of the grilled eggs is only half full. I'm not sure what happened inside, but it looks like this egg decided to save money before I did. Today, I ate 6 eggs in total. I am lucky that the food I can afford is also food I genuinely enjoy. Maybe a meal does not need to be expensive to feel satisfying. After a long day, even a simple egg can taste better than something luxurious. I have always lived quietly and kept most of my life to myself. Starting this channel meant breaking through a shell I had built for years. I am learning to film with an old phone, edit everything alone, and share my life with people I have never met. It may seem small to others, but for me, this is one of the biggest challenges I have ever faced. It is time to sleep. Before bed, I clean my little nest. This 9 square meter room is small, but it holds almost everything I own. For now, this tiny space is my entire world. I do not use a mattress because it costs more and would be difficult to carry whenever I move. I sleep on a firm surface instead. I experienced mechanical back pain in the past, and this sleeping position feels more comfortable for my back. It may not be suitable for everyone, but it works for me. Today began with expensive apartments and many things I could not afford. But it ended with the sea, old memories, a simple meal, and a quiet ride through the city. Not everything valuable has a price. Now I'm back inside my 9 square meter world. Tomorrow life will continue as usual, so it is time for me to rest. Good night, and thank you for spending this simple day with me.